Hi there, it's Karen here. Welcome back. And today I want to start working on my second accordion Christmas journal. This is a different style of accordion journal, which I haven't made before. I've been inspired by Carol Laws with the way she did her accordion journal for the collaboration a few weeks ago. So, and what she took individual pages that she'd collaged and then joined them up with pieces of fabric. She collaged hers with more neutrals, with book page and music paper and that kind of thing. And of course I'm doing mine with the digital kits that I've been using for both the journals. So I've got some of it is using the Nostalgic Noel still, because that's from Nostalgic Noel. This is a collage that I did myself using mostly Roxy Creations papers, but it's a bit of a mixture. This is another collage that we're mixing the two together, and some of the Nostalgic Noel paper. And then these three I've made since I showed you those. There's another one I've got to show you where everything went a bit wrong. And these three are all from the new RachandBellaCrafts kit, the Christmas Crafters Christmas kit. So I thought I'd use those for these ones because I think that's a lovely kit as well. And I think I'm going to concentrate on that kit for this journal. So I've got that one, but I think the two kits go really well together. Well, all three kits really. All the colours go really well, and I'm quite happy to use it. Just mix it all in. So this is the other one, and I'm trying to make it a little bit more, make the pages not quite so decorated, I suppose, as far as the digitals go, so that I'm not worrying about covering things up, because I had so many lovely images on the other journal that I was always struggling to not cover up things, which is a bit silly really. Although having said that, there's a few pretty things on here, and so this is a bit plainer. Then I can just decorate them up however I want and not worry about covering things up. I do love this, even though that is quite highly decorated in that it's got these lovely houses, and I do like that. Anyway, so we're going to mix these in together. Now I have got another one which is fine on this side. It's another collage that I did, mainly using, this is like a Roxy Creations image. It's a bit of a mixture of everything again, as before. However, when I was working on these yesterday, I think this was, doing the other ones, I put these ones aside, and unbeknown to me, I sat them on a nice wet wipe that was lovely and wet. So look what happened. It's just soaked up all the colour, and it made a right mess. And I looked at it and I thought, what am I going to do? Do I want to do it again? Do I want to do another one? Not really, because I really like this one. Toyed with the idea of different pieces of paper covering it up. But in the end, it made the most sense to reprint the one I used in the first place. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cover it up, but I'll cut it down to fit it within where I've sewn it. I don't know how well this is going to glue on because it has got a bit wrinkly. So I'm just wondering now whether this is actually going to work. Originally I was just going to cover up this top bit, but I thought that maybe look a bit weird. Whether I can just, if you see, it's all kind of curling up. I've just noticed how much it's curling, and I'm not even sure if covering it is going to work. So I'll try doing it off camera and see how it looks, because or shall I just try it and see? But I have got another piece cut out anyway, because I thought I might want to do a different page. So yeah, I'm not sure about this one. What I might do, I'm just wondering whether, because this was a collage and I really like it. Oh, let's just try it. Let's see if I can get it to glue on and see what happens. Maybe it'll be all right. You never know. We'll just try, because it's just not lying very flat. So I'm just going to cut the whole thing. So it's going to just be, I'm just going to have to trim off this edge, because I want to keep this, and I'm going to sit it inside, so I'm going to have to lose the bits. It's a little bit, lose some of the outside bits, just to put it inside. So let's just see if we can make this happen. If not, I think I'm going to make that other one up anyway, but it'll be with different papers, and maybe I'll make another one off camera with these, because I do like these papers. This is a Roxy Creations paper. Sorry, I've just trying to line it up so that I cut it off in the right place. That's just going to be just inside there. So how are you all? I hope you're all well and getting on to your crafting, maybe doing some Christmas crafting. Now I can't see my mark. Happens all the time. I make a mark and I can never see it. Yes, I can just see it. Yes, I hope I've got it in the right place. So is that going to fit inside my stitching? Yes, I've just got to take that little top bit off. That's going to go there. It's still a little wide. It is still a little bit wide on this side. And I've got to cut a little bit off the bottom. Okay. Cut that little bit off the bottom. Right, let's see if this is going to actually fit now. That's going to be fine. Well, it fits. Whether it will stick in the right spot, who knows? Let's grab a glue book and just see how we get on. Because I really want to actually start constructing this thing today. But I just thought, well, I was going to do all this off camera. I thought, well, I might as well just show you what I did, what mess I made, and how we're going to fix it. At least I hope I'm going to fix it. We're going to attempt to fix it. That's the thing. I'm going to attempt to fix it, but if I can't fix it, it's only paper, and I'll do a new one. It won't be exactly the same, but it will be similar. So as before, I'm always trying to film pretty well ahead. So I'm probably about maybe a week ahead of myself, just over a week. So I'll tell you what we've been doing this week. But of course, you've got to take a week off. It's not just happened. It will have happened the week before. We've had a really busy week of being grandparents this week. I think we've had every day this week we have been grandparenting. Because our little Arlo had a bit of an upset tummy and hasn't been able to go to nursery. So we've been helping out his mum. Oh, actually, that's not come out too bad in the end. Looking at that. What do you think? I think that's come out okay. I think it's usable. See how it dries. But I don't think you could tell that I've covered up what was there. I'm quite happy with that. Right, so leaving that to dry. I want to just do one more while I'm doing this. I pulled out a bit more packaging. This is actually Amazon packaging, but it's not quite as thick as what I have been using, but I think it would be fine. I'm sure I've got another grocery bag somewhere, but I didn't feel like going searching, so I just got that out of my box. Now, I think what I'd like to use... I've got a couple of things I'd like to use for this, I think a mixture again, as usual. So I've got some really lovely papers from this Crafters Christmas kit, and I thought I'd quite like to do something in these colours just because they're just so lovely, and there's a lot of these colours in it, and I haven't really used anything like this. So I think I'd like to use this page. And then for the other side, this is what I'm thinking. I'll pull it out. I've got a piece by Roxy Creations here, which I thought I'd quite like to use this bit. So they're a bit different, but I still like them, I think, and it's kind of neutral. So there's things you can add things to them. You can add pockets or anything you like, and it's not going to clash. So I think these are the 2 pages I'm going to use. So what's the best thing to do? I think I'm going to cut it down, but I've discovered to my cost, if I cut it too close and too exact, I was never getting it on straight. So what I've did the last time was cut it a little bit big, and then I've got a chance of getting the paper covered properly. So that's what I'm going to do. It's so hard to choose. There's so many beautiful papers. I will link the kits, as I do usually. If you want to go and have a look at this kit, it's just gorgeous. That's why I couldn't help myself. I had to get it, and I had to use it. So that's going to go on there like that. I'm just going to do that. So what I have been doing, it's kind of working. Where's my glue book? Oh, there it is. I'm not going to risk using another page that's been glued on. I've been doing glue stick in the middle and some of my tacky glue around the edges. Seems to work. So that's what I'm going to stick with. And then when it's dry, I'll go and sew around it. And what I think I might do is I'm going to attach 6 pages. I'm not going to attach all of them yet. And but I'm not going to attach the cover. I'm going to decorate the cover, both covers, because I have got the same covers that I've used before, the same bases. I'm still going to decorate them. I'm just not going to attach them until I know how big I want the journal to be when I start working in it. Because this is the one I'm going to use for my Christmas journaling. Oh, I haven't put my other glue on yet. I thought it felt a bit dry around the edges. So I just thought this makes sure that the edges are well glued down. And put this on. So as I mentioned, our little Arlo's had a bit of a poorly tummy. He's been fine in himself, but everything he's eating, and he's certainly been eating well, it's been going straight through him. So they won't have him. They don't like to keep. They wouldn't let him go to nursery while his tummy wasn't quite right, because they weren't sure if it was a bug or. And they've got policies in these places, which is fair enough, that they don't want these things to spread around the children any more than they have to. So if they've got any kind of upsets, they don't let them. They say have a 48-hour policy, so it meant that Hannah had to keep him home. Which, you know, she wouldn't want him to be at nursery if he wasn't well. But unfortunately, this week, her husband was away for work. He was in Poland for the week. Well, not for the whole week, for about 3 days. So she was on her own. See, I haven't done a great job gluing this on, but it's close enough. I'm not going to worry. And once you've sewn around it, I mean, none of the others were perfect either. But it doesn't really notice when you've sewn around it and start adding things. As long as it's kind of on there. Yeah, so she was on her own, and, you know, she was trying to work, but had to keep taking time off. So we've said, you know, we're happy to help when needed. So she brought him over here a couple of the days that she was at home with him. She sent him to nursery one day, and then he ended up having to come home again. So it's curling a little bit, but I found this with all the others tend to curl until it's dry and you put the other side on. But yeah, I like that. So we're going to put one on the other side. Where was the piece I was going to use for that? Hiding. So this is one of Roxy Creations' more document style papers, but they work very well on something like this. You can use it because you haven't got to use it to make a journal page, just glue it on. So I think I might just turn. I was going to say I'll turn it over, I'll be able to see it better, but this is one of my dodgy printings. It's all blurry. That's because I printed one on top of the other. So actually that's not going to show anymore. I'll do it this way. Just want to do a place where I can see my mark. Okay. Let's just cut it across there. And then I can going to use this side, I think. I do love her papers. This isn't one from the new kit, this is from an old kit. And I said I was concentrating on the new kit, which I have mostly, but I just love this paper. So I couldn't help but to just go and look at some of the old papers as well. It looks a bit wide. Is that really wide? As wide as that? Let me just double check. It looks terribly wide there. Well, it is a bit too wide. I'll bring it in just a fraction. Yep, so let's do that. So that'd be lovely backing for a tag or something, wouldn't it? So there. And then that's going to go on here. Because obviously, although it's not the same as this, they're not going to be together. They're, you know, they're back to back, so it'll be the other side of the journal. So it doesn't really matter what's on the other side, as long as I can find something that kind of goes with this. And I'm sure, I mean, they all go quite well together. So, yeah, make sure I glue the right side. This is the side. So I printed it once, didn't like the way it had printed, so I thought, well, I'll turn it over and print on the other side. Only I didn't, and it printed twice on the same side. So looks a bit, I thought, and then I didn't realise I'd done that, and I thought it was all blurry, and I thought, what on earth have I done? And then I realised. So. let's have a look. Yeah, I've got a little bit of trimming to do on this side. Right, so it is quite wet at the moment. Let's try and make sure it's not too many bubbles, whatever. I've got it the right way around, yes. Okay, so I'm going to put this under my mat to dry and flatten. And I think we'll start putting some of the pages together. So, right, let's put these bits out of the way. Put that over, yeah, that there. Right, what did I do with them? Where did I put them? There they are. Okay, so now I need to decide which ones go together. Well, I think this one is going to go quite well with the new one. We'll see. Put that to one side there for a moment. So I'm just trying to decide, would these go well together? Make it look quite good too. We've got to make sure that they go well together on the other side as well. Oh yeah, that works really well. Okay, so I think I'm going to put these two together. Maybe a plain one. Yeah, I think this one might squeeze in somewhere. We'll see. Possibly. Right, well, let's do just two at a time. I don't know how well this is going to go, because I've not done this before. So I've got these pieces of fabric. They may be a bit wider than I need. But they're certainly taller than I need, I think. So first of all, I'm going to cut them. I'm just wondering if they are. So I want these to go next to each other, but with a bit of a gap, obviously, to allow the fabric to bend. I knew this would be the tricky part. I think I'll cut it off after I've glued it, because knowing me, I'll cut them too short. So I'm just going to do one side at a time, and let's see how we get on. So I don't want to cover up too much of my page, because I'm going to need them on both sides, so we don't want to lose too much of the page. So I might glue one side on, and if I decide it's a bit too wide, I'll cut a bit off before I glue the other side on. It's not really ideal, but at least it gives me an idea, because I don't really know how wide they need to be. We want it to be on far enough to anchor it well, but not so far that it eats into the page too much. And I have got issues with my glue. There's always issues with the glue until it gets itself going. We're up and running. Just putting a bit of plenty of glue on there. How straight am I here? It's wanting to curl a little bit, but I'm not going to let it. Right, now I can trim off the excess bit down here. If I put that there, how much is that? Well, let's just see how much by covering. Do I want to take a bit more off? I think I do want to take a little bit more off of this width. I don't want it to be too wide. So I'm just going to take about, I don't even know if it's as much as 1/4 inch really, but and actually where I tore it, it might be why it's all curled a bit, because it might lie a bit flatter now I've cut it. Not very straight, of course, but I don't think I'm worried too much about how straight it is. Okay, so we're going to do it, I'm going to turn it around this way. I'm going to put the glue, on here. So I'm trying to decide which way around to do it, but I'm going to put the glue on this side. So I'm just kind of doing about 1/4 inch width. I think that's all you need it to be on. I hope it's enough to hold it. And I can just see, make sure I leave a bit for folding and get the distance between the two about right. Go a little closer, maybe a little bit. But yeah, I've got about 1/8 inch gap, I would say, between those two. So I'm hoping I can just pop this over. Yes, it's not the straightest up the top here. I might just trim a bit more of this off. Right, so I have trimmed it a bit more. Not terribly well, of course. This bit's glued down, but it's actually a bit wider. But I just don't want too much of the fabric covering the page. I'm just going to put a bit more glue along these edges now. Just make sure it's all nice and glued down. And then I think I'm going to have to make my other strips a bit narrower. Right. It's not fabulous, but it actually, because it's quite thin fabric, it kind of melts into it, so I think it'll be okay. Right, let's get another strip. So I've got two different varieties. I've got some of these Roxy Creations scripty pieces of fabric, and then I have got some actual Christmas fabric, and I'm just trying to decide, shall I do alternate pieces so that it just rather than, I was thinking of doing them all rock creations on one side and all the other one on the other side, but now I think I'm going to mix it up and do alternate pieces. This one's actually a bit narrower, which is good. Yeah, I think that's probably a good width, this one. Although it's a bit of a weird shape at the top there, so I'm just going to nip that off. As it's quite long, I'm going to nip this piece off that's a bit of a funny shape. And take it to about there. Snip that off. And then we'll glue this on. And I'm just going to keep going until I've got them all glued together. So this could be, I think this section is now going to get speeded up. If I need to tell you what I'm doing, if there's something happens that I need to tell you about, or I'll come in and out talking about the next page each time and then gluing them on. So, I haven't even decided what I am going to do on the next page yet, have I? Well, that's okay, because I can just glue on the bit of fabric and then we'll find a piece to go on it. We'll find the next page to go. Let's just glue this piece on and see. These pieces are actually a bit easier to attach. I've left enough. Yep, looks pretty straight. Okay, so that's that piece. What we're going to do next here. We're going to do this one next. I think so. Don't want them all busy next to each other. This is quite a calm, plainish. Oh God, I haven't done it again, have I? Put this on. Oh, have I done it again? Not quite. Managed to stop myself. Those wet wipes are a nightmare. I'm always putting things on them and then spoiling things. Right. I'm going to glue this onto here and then we carry on. Right, next page. Rather like this one next, I think. What's on the other side? That's a. Oh, I don't want two collage pages next to each other, do I? What about this one? Let's see how those two go together. Yeah, that'll be all right. That one can go there. So we're going to do one of these this time. But I'm going to cut it down a little bit first. So you can see this is curved a bit. I'm not sure why. These pieces of fabric are lying a lot flatter than these, but I think it'll be okay because I really want to use them. So you can see how I'm going with this. This is going to go like that. I think that's the way it'll end up going. So I think we're getting there. So I think what I'll do is I'll finish this off camera because you've seen what I'm doing. I'm going to go and put the rest of the papers on. Don't forget there's another one drying which will need to be sewn around, and I might want to incorporate that, so I don't want to finish until I know what I'm doing. So I might put this one here and maybe this one. it's on the other side of here, so those go nicely together. So my feeling is that, oh, maybe this way round, maybe that way round. So those I will add off camera, so then we will come back in another video and do some more work making some ephemera. But I thought I'd like to show you what I'm planning, what I'm thinking of doing for the cover, because I have been thinking about this quite a lot, and I'm not entirely sure, but I will kind of get it prepared once I've got my idea fully formed. I will prepare it and we'll do it in the next video. So as before, I've got the same 2 red pieces of old diary cover, so they're quite handy to use for Christmas. So yeah, keep turning them over. I don't know why. I might want to take this sticker off, but anyway, what I want to use now, what did I do with my papers? Oh, they fell on the floor. I'll be right back. All fell on the floor. So this one is one of my favourite papers from the kit. I just love it. As soon as I saw it, I just love this picture. The way this has been put together, I just think it's beautiful. So I thought, well, I'd like to do something with that on the cover. But it also comes with like the same one, but with the sort of more slightly faded out, without the extra images on the front, so more like a background. So what I'm thinking is I'd like to perhaps, this is just for the front, I'll do something different on the back like I did on the other one. I'm thinking I might be able to put this on the front cover like that, and then I've reprinted this but a bit smaller, and I thought, well, perhaps if I could do a flip out in the same way as I did with the other one, but using this, so it's cut a bit smaller, backing it onto some card, probably some file folder. Let's just see how it would look, because it's got the same background, but then this will be the slightly smaller image. I didn't want to keep it the same size, but if it doesn't work like this, I have got the full size one, but I didn't want to completely cover the background piece. So I might just cut it about there. Now let's, before I go mad, see where it might want to sit. So if I were to pull it in a little bit, I don't want to pull it in too much. I might trim it off a bit more, because I want to get Joy to the World on there. I love that. That will fit nicely, but maybe what I need to do is just take a little bit more off that edge. So I really like how the cover on the other journal worked out with the flip. So I wanted to do something similar, but I wasn't sure how best to do it, and I wanted to have an image that I love on the front, and that would kind of join there. So let's see, where would I cut it? Where's my pencil? There it is. So if I cut it about here, I should probably be able to make it a bit smaller, but I don't want to cut it too small too soon. But then I can cut off the top and bottom once I've got it down to size a little bit. I can lose this perhaps on the flip, maybe. Let's take this off. The colours are just so gorgeous and so different. So I was thinking if I just have it so it's a bit lined up like that, and then we can flip this out. Let's give it a go. Why not? Can I just? I'm a bit anxious about gluing things onto this. I'm hoping it'll work on here. because it's a little bit shiny. I did glue on something to the paper to the other one, and I think it was okay. I did have to add extra glue. Just wondering. This is going to need to be added to. Going to need some fabric. It's a little wider than it needs to be, I think. Yeah, I'm going to have to cut this down a little bit more to allow for a little bit of fabric. But if I put, no, I'm not going to cut it down until I've put it onto some file folder. Let's just do that. Just see how far we can take it today while I've still got a bit of time. I just love that. I don't know what it is. It's just something about it. It just looks like a golden era of Christmas. I have a piece of file folder here. Ooh, might even be able to incorporate that. I don't know. I don't know whether I would want to incorporate the tab. I'd have to add something else to it, wouldn't I? Is that going to be... Well, I can always cut it off if I can't make it work. I think that's the main thing. So let's just glue this on here. See how we get on. I might have to cut it down a bit more. I don't know. I'm kind of trying things out here. This is possibly going to be too wide. Ooh, it did mangle that up a bit, didn't it? Oh dear. What happened there? See if we can straighten it out. I think we will have to cut that off a little bit more. It's made a bit of a mess there. I need to cut this off. Oh, what am I doing? Doing that. But I'm pretty sure it's too wide anyway. It's a lot wider than the piece I did on the other one, I think. I'm just going to quickly hold it against the other piece and see how much wider it is. Yes, it is quite a bit wider, so I'm going to take a bit more off. But I want to leave a bit of space to put fabric on and not cover up our singers. So I'm hoping that'll be okay. Right, So that's all trimmed down. I've decided I am going to take this off because I think it's too big. And I think it will look a bit, it won't look right if I have to cover it with something. If I thought about it in time, I might have incorporated that into the paper if I'd cut a piece wide enough. But of course I'd already cut it when I came across this piece of file folder, and it's too late now to incorporate it, I think. So I'm just going to trim it off. Have I actually got it all? Just about, I think. Right. So we have our topper, and we have our background piece like that. So I think I will cut this one to size as well. Right across, in fact I'm going to take it a little wider just to make sure. So I'm thinking on the inside of the cover I could either use this or use the other half of this guy, but actually I'd need to use the bigger version, so this one. So at the moment I'm not sure, because I'll probably want to put some sort of pocket on here. Gorgeous as that is, maybe I'll use this to make the pocket or whatever I decide. This would be quite good as a nice background page. In fact, I think I'd start it from that side. Yeah, I think I'm going to use that on the inside. It's beautiful. And this on the outside. So this is going to go on here. This is just, I'm just kind of getting things sorted in my mind. I'm not quite there ready to put it on yet, but we are getting there. So this is going to go on here. I need it to cover. I'm thinking I might have some lace going along here, some nice white lace, because I just feel like it would, a bit of lace would go well on here. And I'm probably going to add some snowy bits, some sparkle. That's what I'm thinking for the front cover, and I'm just going to work a bit more on that and think about how I'm going to do it. And we'll come back and finish that next time. So that's the front. Then for the back, which I need to get this, I don't know if I can see if I can get this sticker off. Don't know if I can. Usually they come off okay. But then I don't usually have to try and do it on camera. Okay, I got it off. There we are. So I've got another piece that's not dissimilar. This piece here, which I really love as well, and I thought it would just complement the front quite nicely without being exactly the same. And I particularly like this page, but I'm obviously not going to do another flip, so I think I'm just going to use this piece for the back. I just think the colours are just gorgeous. So that's what I'm thinking for the back cover. So let's just cut that down. And I may or may not use the other half for the inside. I'm not sure at the moment. Just cut it there. Give myself a little extra. Because I have got some really, so many lovely papers. But these rather sort of, these colours are quite unusual for me to use for Christmas, really. So it'll look very different to any of my other Christmas journals. But that's always nice, isn't it, to have because the style is a very different style to ones I've used before. What I might do at the beginning of the next video, I'll show you last year's Christmas journal, and you'll see what a contrast. Well, a couple of Christmas, I might just show you a couple of my old Christmas journals, because you'll have seen them empty, more or less. but you won't have seen them by the time I finish with them, and they look a bit different when I finish with them because they're absolutely stuffed with photographs and journaling, and I just add and add and add as I'm working in them. So where I'm starting off with 6 pages, it might not be enough because this is way smaller than most of the journals I use. But I'm thinking I'm going to try and pare it down this year because usually I'm working in it to the end of January and I still haven't finished. So I'm going to try not to do quite as much this year. I won't really be able to do as much anyway. And as you know, we're probably not going to have as many Christmas things going on, although we are trying to do quite a lot in the next couple of weeks, which is what leads me on to say I don't know how many videos I'm going to get done before I go into hospital. So because I've got so much, I've got 2 weeks left from the time of filming. By the time you see it, I'll be in my last week, and I'm not going to have a lot of time to film because I have Christmas. I've had packages and packages arriving, so I've got to get everything wrapped for Christmas. We've got things booked into the diary. We've been trying to do some things, which has been we've both been sort of saying we want to get some things. Do a few things together before the operation, so that because I won't be able to do very much afterwards. Although we have got 1 or 2 things booked in that I haven't cancelled, so we'll see. But I don't know how I'll be. So last night we went up to London and we went to the National Theatre and we saw a fabulous production of Ballet Shoes. I don't know if any of you know the story. It's a book by Noel Stretfield. It's a children's book. I hadn't read it. I didn't know the story, but I had heard of it. And we went to see it, and it was just magical. It was beautiful. It's very much one for I think for youngsters to take kids to. Of course, we were both sitting there saying, "Oh, we'd love to bring Alyssa to see this," but I don't know whether it'll be something we will be able to do. But I think we'll suggest it to her parents because I think she'd love it. She does ballet, and it's a lovely show. They do a fantastic production at the National Theatre. It's on the South Bank in London. It's just a lovely evening out, and we really enjoy doing it. We've done it a couple of times now. So that was last night, and then we've got I think we've got a festive afternoon tea next week. So we've got a few things booked in, and we're just trying to fill our time a little bit with some nice things, nice memories before before I go into hospital. And who knows how much we'll be able to do after that. We've got our friends coming this weekend. They're coming tomorrow. I'm filming on Saturday. They're coming. These are the friends we have in Norfolk that we're going on the cruise with. And they're coming tomorrow and staying over, so that'll be lovely. So that's stuff that's coming up. So it just means that I won't be able to do an awful lot of filming. I will try to get in here because I do want to get this done. At least the bones of it. I want to get get it put together, ready to work in, and then perhaps we'll be making some ephemera. I will really try to carry on as far as I can with the 50 stack challenge, so making ephemera for this particular journal. Even after I've been in hospital, I might just work on these things at home on my own when I feel up to it and catch up a bit on the challenge and then show you what I've made afterwards. So who knows how it'll go. So I'll stop waffling on. I think that's all I can manage for today. So I will finish here. We have made a start. We've done the things that I was hoping to do today. Perhaps not got quite as much done as I'd have liked, but at least I've made some decisions about my cover. I know roughly where I'm going with it, and you can see where I'm going with this. I've folded it up in a different way than I originally intended, but it doesn't really matter until you put it together. But I think it's going to be like that. And then this will be joined onto the cover. So if it's going to be against this one, will that work? I think it'll be okay. I might change my mind. I might put one of the others here. I don't know if it will go any better from that. No, it won't go like that because I've got to join it here. So I will use a piece of fabric to join the cover on as well. So that will go there. I think that'll be okay. So we've got that coming back. We've got that and that. So by the time, and it does lie a bit flatter than the other sort that I did because it's not folded. It's got the join with the fabric. So I think it will be quite nice. So got that. I've got 2 more to add. I might add the 3rd one anyway, just because I think I'm going to need another page. Maybe even I'll do another one. Who knows? Wouldn't be at all surprised if I make another one and have 8 pages. It wouldn't surprise me. So I'll see you then. Thank you for joining me. I hope you stick with me on where I go with this. And I'll see you soon. Bye for now.